19th section ji. Tattva Vijnana Samdansham Adaya Hridayodarat Nana Vidha Paramarsha Shalyodhara Krito Maya. The Tattvajnani says, a Jnani says, Tattva Vijnana Sandamsham. Sandamsham means, the knife. The surgical instrument. The surgical instrument is called Sandamsham. In Sanskrit, damsha means to bite. That's why Danta is damsha, to bite. Sandansham means a cutter, an instrument, a knife, a blade, a surgical instrument. Sandansham adaya, having taken. Taking, meaning with the help of a surgical instrument. What is the surgical instrument? Tattva Vijnana. With the help of the surgical instrument of right understanding, right prakriya, right understanding. With the surgical instrument of, by means of the surgical instrument of right understanding. Adaya Hridaya Udarat, from my heart and from my stomach, meaning from my mind, from my heart and my stomach. Hridayodarat, from the stomach of my thinking, from the stomach of my thinking. Just as we put all kinds of things into our stomach, we put all kinds of views into our mind also. It's a dumping ground, ji. Mind is a dumping ground. Why is it a dumping ground? Because you go on swallowing all kinds of views without examining. Just as one goes on eating without examining. Hridaya Udarat, from the stomach of one's thinking. Nanavidha Paramarsha. Shalya. Shalya means, the bones. Shalya, the bones. Nanavidha Paramarsha, the bones of various speculations. Nana Vidha means all kinds of. Paramarsha means discussions, views, argumentations, discussions, reasons, etc. Nanavida Paramarsha Shalya, the bones. Uddharaha, removal. Kritaha, done, maya, by me. The uprooting of the bones of various speculations from my mind, from the stomach of my thinking, has been done. By the surgical instrument of right understanding, right thinking. Man his mind is a dumping ground. When it comes to the religion and spirituality, every individual swallows all kinds of views without really checking. There is no reasoning at all. Maybe it's like that, maybe it's like this, maybe it's like that, maybe. You see, unless it is evident, you cannot accept it. That is the right thinking. If you accept what is not evident, then it is a blind belief. It's a belief. Call it a religious belief. A belief does not become knowledge just because it is a religious belief. A belief does not cease to be just a belief, even if it were spiritual belief. Mostly people live with religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs. There is no reasoning. There is no systematic thinking. What is evident? Only one's existence and the universe. What else is evident? Nothing else is evident. Within oneself, the subject and the object, within this realm, is the entire era, is the entire truth. The waking is subject-object relation. Dream is subject-object relation. And deep sleep state is freedom from subject-object relation. That is also evident, that is experience. Therefore, all the three, what is evident you can look into. What is not evident you don't have to unnecessarily act. Don't really hang around what is not evident. It's a waste of time. You may become, your beliefs may make you pious, G. Your beliefs may make you pious, may give you some mental peace, etc. Your beliefs may give you some hopes, etc. But then still they are all wrong, because it is a belief in what is not evident. A belief may be good, it may support you in the short term and bind you in the long term. Like the junk food may be tasty in the short time, may be good in the short time, you enjoy it in the short time, but you suffer it in the long term. The junk food you suffer in the long term. Similarly, beliefs also. And most of the human beings harbor blind beliefs. Every belief is blind. If you accept anything that is unevident, it's blind belief. It's bad. Anyway, Vedanta's topic is not future, because future is not evident. Right now my existence is evident. What is evident is me and what I see. Therefore, the author says, I am very happy that I have overcome all kinds of wrong views about the truth. If the being is the truth, then all thinkings are wrong. All views are wrong. All speculations are wrong. But he talks about himself, the jnani. But I am going to say, the truth is ever free from the wrong views. The truth does not, if truth is independent of thought, truth is independent of all kinds of views also. Because every view is in the form of a thinking. So truth is independent of all thinkings. Truth's existence is independent of all views. Our existence is independent of all views. Therefore, one interpretation, one understanding is, a jnani, a thinking man definitely understands truth is independent of thought. Even when the Shruti says that thou art, etc., and we have to do vichara, it's not thinking, it is discerning. That's all. In discerning there is no objectification. Neither you are objectifying your being, nor you need to further objectify the object, because it is already objectified. Therefore, seeing the difference between the unobjectifiable one's being and the objectifiable body, the unobjectifiable oneself and the objectifiable anatma. That is what gives a breakthrough to oneself. And therefore, a wise man says, I have done all this. With the right understanding, right reflection of surgical instrument, with the surgical instrument of right reflection, right shravanam, right mananam, right exposure to the shastram, I have overcome all speculations. That is a wise man's view about himself. He says, he is talking about himself. But I would like to explain away this verse to mean the truth is ever. Truth need not be freed. That understand that the truth is free. I don't have to free the rope from the snake. If there are shackles on me, I have to free myself from the shackles. Even though there are no shackles, I think I have shackles. It's a notional shackles, not real shackles. Then I don't have to free myself from the shackles. I have to understand that I am ever free from the shackles. What about the notion? Even the notion, my existence is independent of even the notion. One may start wondering, if you have real shackles, you have to free yourself from the real shackles. If you have a notional shackle, then you have to free yourself from the notional shackle. No, you don't have to free yourself. The way to free oneself from the notional shackle is, my existence is independent of my notions. Let this be a sanskara in your mind at least. If you can't really follow what I am talking, let what I am talking create sanskara in you. Let it touch your thinking. This is what the truth is. I don't have to free myself from the notion. My existence, my identity, my swarupam is independent of my notions. The existence of the rope is independent of even the notion that it is snake. Not only it is independent, it is free from the real snake, it is also it is independent of my notion that it is snake. My notion that it is snake does not affect it. In that sense, the rope is independent of even the notion. If it is independent of thought, it is independent of every notion. That is our existence. Our being is something independent of our thinking. This is the highlight of the essence of the entire Vedanta. Our existence is independent of our thinking. Truth is independent of thought. Kva dharma, kva cha va kamaha, kva cha artha, kva vivekata. Kvadvaitam kvacha va advaitam kvacha va advait swamahimni sthitasya me. Swamahimni sthitasya me. I am rooted in myself. I am rooted in my own glory. He is talking about himself. I am rooted in myself. For me. Qua dharma. For me, I don't have to think about what is dharma and adharma. Dharma is something that is related to survival, please. Peaceful survival. For robust survival, you need wealth. For mental peace, for physical comforts are offered by wealth. Mental comfort is offered by dharma. Therefore, physical comfort is related to survival. Mental comfort also is related to survival. But sometimes I relate dharma to jnana, the knowing the truth. That is because unless you are physically comfortable, unless you are mentally comfortable, you cannot listen. Therefore, dharma is directly related to the mental comfort. It is directly related to the mental comfort and remotely, indirectly connected to jnana. But directly, immediately related to mental comfort. You cannot be mentally comfortable unless you have dharma. You are fair in all your dealings unless you are fair. You are not mentally comfortable. It pricks. Even a little unfairness pricks you. That is the deterrent. Unfairness pricks. That prick is the deterrent. And mentally, if you are not comfortable, you can't study Vedanta. If there is no mental comfort, you can't even be happy. You can't survive peacefully. So immediately, dharma is related to immediate mental comfort. It is directly related to the mental comfort, but remotely connected to Brahma Jignasa. Even wealth, it gives me immediate physical comfort. So it is directly related to my physical comfort and remotely connected to Brahma Jignasa. Because unless I am physically comfortable, I cannot sit and do Shravana. Therefore, but if the truth is, that is, a person can say, my topic is not dharma. A jnani has to recognize the dharma is not my topic. But the truth is ever free from dharma. The truth doesn't have to wriggle out of dharma. It doesn't have to discover that it is free from dharma. It is already free by nature. It is free from dharma. What should I do? I should understand that my nature is already free from dharma. Because there is a difference. To free myself from dharma is different from discovering that I am already free. That is the traditional Vedanta. The rope is unaffected by neither there is snake, nor the notional snake can affect the rope. If you say there is a notional snake, even the notional snake doesn't affect the rope. My notion, just as my notion that it is snake doesn't affect the rope, my notion that I am jiva, I am a form, doesn't affect my nature. There is no difference. That is Vedanta. Our thinking doesn't qualify our nature. Very, very big thing. Qua dharmaha, kvachava kamaha, and where is the desire? A jnani has to make, he has to will to be free from desire to begin with. And when he understands the truth, he says, desire is not my topic. He says, now the desire is not my topic. But Vedanta says the Atma is ever free from the desire. Just as my notional snake doesn't affect the rope, my fear of the snake also doesn't affect the rope. Or if I see a silver in the shell, my notional silver doesn't affect the shell. My desire for it also doesn't affect the shell. Similarly, I have desires. My notion that I am an individual doesn't affect my nature. My desires also do not affect my nature. Therefore, an individual may become free from desire. The truth is ever free from desire. A jiva may become free from desire. He cannot become also free from desire, really. He is interested in becoming free from desire, but you can never become free from desire. Then you can only discover that the truth is already free from desire. What is already there, I don't have to accomplish. What is already there, I can only know. What is already there, why should I accomplish? There is no need to accomplish. If I can live my life accomplishing what I need, that is great enough, good enough of me. What is already there, why should I accomplish? Why should I think? Therefore, a human being may think, I want to become free from desire, but he can't become free from desire. He has to discover that his existence is already free from desire. Unless his topic becomes his existence, there will be no relief from his thinking. His thinking will come up with onslaughts on him. Man's thought mount onslaughts on him. Unless his being becomes the topic, his being is free from the desire. And therefore, a man may say, I have become free from desire. Now I am free from desire. Whereas by nature you are ever free from the desire. Kwacha artha, are you able to follow the difference, what I am saying? I am making effort, you have to also make effort. You cannot be sleepy and then say, Swamiji, I cannot understand. If you can't, why you can't understand? You are an educated person. At least follow the teaching. See the reasoning of it. See the logic of the teaching. You will become reflective. This teaching is not something to be blindly swallowed. You cannot become free from desire. Even if you may control for a little while, and again it flares up. Because behind every desire is a wrong view about oneself. Unless I correct that wrong view about myself, desires don't. Desire is the result. The reason is the wrong view, the erroneous view. Views to be corrected, correcting one's views about oneself is a very sophisticated topic. Therefore, a layman gets bored with it. He wants pizzas, ice creams. He wants bhoga, he wants to enjoy. He wants entertainment. Correcting a wrong view is a very sophisticated, very uninteresting topic. That's education. Education is uninteresting to man. What is interesting to man? Money is interesting. Buying is interesting. Enjoying is interesting. Playing is interesting. Traveling is interesting. Bhoga is interesting. And therefore, you can't really control desire. Mankind can never control its desire unless mankind makes its own existence the topic. What am I? Am I a form? Is my existence synonymous with this form? Or is my existence unlike this form? The experience tells, the reasoning tells, and the scripture tells, all of them tell the same thing. My own experience tells, my reasoning also tells the same thing. That is, the body is like a shirt that I wear. Just as I wear a shirt and remove the shirt, similarly, I assume the form and remove the form. Get out of the form. When I wake up, I wear the form. When I go to sleep, I am free from the form. I transcend the form. That is experience. And the observer definitely is not qualified by the observed. That is the reasoning. Because there is no evidence of the observed qualifying the observer, the conscious being. Even the thought of observation is observed. Therefore, the truth is something that is unlike an object that is observed. It is unlike even the thought of observing it. And therefore, that being, that existence which is our being, unless that becomes the topic, you cannot become free from it. You can't become free from desire. You can discover, by nature you are free from it. Therefore you can discover your nature, which is ever full. You can't liberate silence from the sound. You don't have to liberate silence from the sound. Discover that silence is already free from the sound. It is unlike the sound. It's contrary to the sound. Sound is made, the silence always is. You don't have to accomplish silence. Therefore, qua dharmaha, quachava kamaha, quacha artha. Where is? My topic is not. This man, Ashtavakraji says, my topic is not artha. Is not, my topic is not wealth. Because wealth is directly related to physical survival and remotely connected to even understanding the truth. Why? Unless I am physically comfortable, I cannot relax and think about the truth. Therefore, wealth is connected to both the survival, it is immediately connected to survival and remotely connected to Brahma Jignasa, spirituality. In your language, it is directly related to living and indirectly related to spirituality also. But the truth's existence is independent of wealth. That is understanding. Its existence is independent of all the wealth. Every form of wealth is a part of the creation. Gold is a part of the creation. It's a metal. Its value is a thought. It may be a collective thought, accepted view that gold has a commercial value. It has a buying capacity. It's a thinking. Thought also is a part of creation. Money is a material, it's a part of creation. And its value also is a part of creation. Because the value also the value is in the form of thinking. The value is in the form of accepted thinking, accepted view. And therefore, the source of the creation is independent of the creation. And every form of wealth is a part of creation. In fact, every part of the creation is some kind of wealth. Air is, even now it has. Till now it didn't have any commercial value. Now air has commercial value. I am told in Delhi somewhere there is a place, you get pure O2, oxygen. You get pure oxygen. And you pay this much of money for sitting there for 1 hour. You go there and sit there and then feel that you are getting good oxygen. And then unload your pocket and then come back. Air has a commercial value. So it is a wealth. The sunlight has a commercial value. In Delhi flats, definitely you crave for it. Water has a commercial value. You pay your water bills. Food has a commercial value. Space, of course, has a commercial value. Every inch costs crores. Therefore, every bit of creation is wealth for survival. Wealth for survival. Therefore, the immediate relevance of the wealth is survival, please. The immediate connection. It is directly connected to your survival. And indirectly connected to Brahma Jignasa also. Without wealth, you can't even come to the class. Because you need a transport. Therefore, don't underestimate wealth. It is highly useful, but that's not the answer. It has its limitation. It's highly useful, but that's not the answer to me. That's not directly connected to my peace. Therefore, if the source of the creation is unqualified by the creation, then it is unqualified by every form of wealth. Because every form of wealth is in the form of creation. It's a bit of creation. The wave doesn't qualify water. The ornament doesn't qualify the gold. Similarly, the universe doesn't qualify its source. And its source is not another object. Its source is the very subject. The very observer of the creation is the source of it. If the observed were to qualify the observer, then he would not be able to see it. If the sound were qualified by if the silence were qualified by the sound, you would not hear the sound, because you hear the sound only in the medium of silence, which is not qualified by the sound. It is something to be deeply thought. Unless the seer is nirvisation, unless he is absolutely unqualified by the form, he can't see the form. Unless he is colorless, he can't see the color. Unless he is shape free, he cannot see the shape. Unless he is limitation free, he cannot see limitation. I see the limitation of every limited thing. That means the seer of the limitation has no limitation. It's a very typical Indian thinking, Indian sages thinking. It is Indian scripture. Indians always think the subject is not qualified by the object. The observer is not qualified by the observed. Even the observer-observed relationship. See, observer may affect the observed, but the observed doesn't affect the observed. I can be a very subjective observer of an object. But even subjective thinking also is observed. Therefore, neither the object can qualify the real observer, nor the subjectivity that one has about the object. It is also a thought. That also doesn't qualify the observer. The observer only is. Even though we use the term observer as though he does observing, he only is. Like the sunlight, we say it illumines as though it does the job of illumining. No. The objects get illumined. The light is. Similarly, our existence is in the light of which the objects get illumined. When they get illumined, I call myself as the seer, as though I am doing a job. Therefore, kvacha artha, kwa vivekata. Therefore, wealth is not something. I don't have to renounce wealth, please, as some of the people do. Renounce wealth. Renouncing the wealth may be renunciation of wealth may be a good value for you, but that's not the answer. Understanding oneself is the answer. Just because I give up Karela, or I give up wealth, money, or I give up diamonds, what do you get out of it? Previously you had something, you were able to eat pizzas, now you can't even eat pizzas. Renunciation is not the answer. Nor renunciation is a problem. Self-ignorance is the problem. Wrong view about oneself is the problem. And correcting the wrong view is the answer. I am myself ununderstood is the problem to me. Myself understood is the answer. And therefore, qua vivekata, I don't have to even, my topic is not even discerning, because the truth is free from even being something other than itself. Presupposing avidya, I have to discern, etc. But even avidya doesn't qualify Atma. Understanding that Atma is not qualified by avidya is the way to negate the avidya. Atma is not qualified by avidya is the way to negate the avidya. Qua Dvaitam, and where is the duality? Kvachava Advaitam. There is nothing parallel to the Atma. So there is no Dvaitam. Maybe truth is Advaitam. I say Advaitam is a word that is used as a part of teaching. But otherwise by nature it is not even Advaitam. I call it Advaitam, otherwise it is free from the language of Advaitam. It is taught. Silence is called by the word silence, but that word silence is not a part of silence. That word silence is not a part of silence. It is described silence. Similarly, the word Advaitam is not a part of the truth. Even the word truth is not a part of the truth. It is we as individuals, while talking about the truth, we use the language. But all the language that we use for understanding the truth is not a part of the truth. They say, I use the boat to go to the other bank. But the boat is not a part of the other bank. It's a means. It is a means by which I can reach the other bank. Similarly, I use the language. Shastra comes up with the prakriya, the language. It is not Dvaitam, it is Advaitam. It is not noise, it is peace, etc. But this entire language, a corrective language, is not a part of the truth. Swamahimni sthitasya me. In fact, he says, I am rooted in myself. I say, you may have rooted in yourself. You may have rooted yourself in yourself. But I am telling you, by nature you are ever yourself. The truth doesn't have to stabilize itself within itself. The silence doesn't have to shake off the sound, because it's never a part of the sound. I don't have to become silent. I have to discover that I am by nature silence. Thus, becoming liberated is different from discovering that I am already free. There are two different things. One is a sadhana, the other is education. One is a struggle, the other is education. One is inconclusive, the other is conclusive. I can know my nature, but I cannot become. I cannot convert the snake into a rope, please. I have to discover it is never the snake, it is only a rope. That is education. And trying to convert, I am trying to process, trying to convert the snake into rope is called a process of change, a process of becoming, a process of transformation, a process of becoming, etc. But something that is notional cannot go by wish. A wrong cannot go by wish or will. The wrong will go only through right knowledge. You are solving an arithmetic problem and you got a wrong solution. I don't want this wrong solution. By simple wish, will it go? Can you transform it into the right solution? Can you put some acid in it and then transform it into the right? No, you can't do anything. The wrong asserts itself. The antidote for the wrong is the right solution. I have to work on the problem again. I have to resolve it correctly. And then there is a right solution, right answer. The right corrects the wrong. The wrong cannot be transformed into the right. The wrong needs to be corrected, not transformed. The wrong needs to be corrected. If you have a wrong habit, it cannot be transformed. It should be corrected. It's wrong. Understanding the wrong as wrong is correction. Understanding the wrong as wrong is correction. To begin with, I have to discover the wrong as wrong and slowly work for the right, and the right corrects the wrong. In fact, in this spiritual problem, discovering the wrong as wrong itself is its correction. Okay, ji. Kva bhutam, kva bhavishyadva, kva bhutam, kva bhavishyadva, kva bhavishyadva, vartamanamapi kva, kva desha, kva cha va nityam, swamahimni sthitasya me. Kva bhutam, where is the past time? Past is not parallel to the present. Ji. Amazing. If present is oneself, past time is not parallel to one's existence. Me and the past you can't say. Past is located in the one's existence. Therefore, past is not parallel to the present. Kva bhavishyadva, nor the future is not parallel to one's existence. Vartamanam api kva va, even present as a time, because present is never a time. Present is only one's own existence. You don't experience present as time. To be in the present means to understand oneself. Because there is no present, ji. Present is only one's own existence, which is called presence. One's presence is the present, which is eternity, within which appears and disappears the past as well as the future. Therefore, present is not a time. Past and future are kalpita in the present, the self. Present has no length. Past, you can think of a length of the past. You can think of the length of the future. But the present, the whole day is not the present. The present hour is the present. The present minute is the present. The present second is the present. Even that second can be divided into microseconds. And ultimately, the present is free from time. The time-free presence of one's being is the present. And with which the past is not parallel to which the past is not parallel to one's presence. Future is not parallel to one's presence. That is why the author says, where is past, where is future, where is present as a time? I would say it's not an individual. Don't think that so-and-so Ashtavakra is like that. The glory doesn't belong to Ashtavakra. The glory is the nature of the self of every living being. Ashtavakra conveys the nature of the being. Not that the glory of the truth, don't ascribe it to any individual. The glory doesn't belong to Ashtavakra or Shankaracharya, Bhagavan Krishna or Rama or Christ or anybody. Glory doesn't belong to any individual. Glory belongs to the self, your existence. And that existence is not an individual. There are so many great waves in the ocean. The glory doesn't belong to any of the waves. It belongs to only water. It is the water that is the truth of all waves. The glory belongs to the substance. The glory doesn't belong to the form. Therefore, you don't have to sing in praise of Ashtavakra or anybody. In fact, you should not even dwell on any particular individual. Think of your being, which is the truth. If your attention is with yourself, you are a wise man. If you can keep your attention with yourself, you are a wise person. If your attention is not with yourself, then it is with a million things. You become psychotic. Every restless person can be called psychotic. Yes. Every greedy person can be called psychotic. Like that man, the duck that lay golden eggs, and a greedy man. That greedy man cut his own duck for more and more golden eggs. If the duck can give one golden egg a day, that how many must be there inside? Cut open, lost it. Can't we call him psychotic? A man who is extremely greedy is psychotic. It's a mental case. Extremely jealous, psychotic. Hamlet, psychotic. All these villains, psychotic. All these terrorists, psychotic. In my view, please. A sane man would never give problems to others. A sane, one of the beautiful highlights of sanity is live and let live. Live and let live. If you can't live with another person, keep distance, but don't disturb. Because you don't want to be disturbed. If somebody doesn't like me, let him keep distance from me, but let him not disturb me. Therefore, Kwa bhutam, kwa bhavishadva. Therefore, the glory doesn't belong to any individual. The glory belongs to your being. Swamiji, on Guru Purnima day we sing in praise of all the Gurus. That is a part of the tradition. It's not a part of the truth. Just as there is a teaching which is a part of the tradition. And you celebrate also some kind of Guru Purnima. But even Guru Purnima celebrations are not a part of the truth. All these things, if the whole creation doesn't qualify the source, your Guru Purnima is nothing. Therefore, qua deshaha, where is the space? Deshaha means space. Say space. I think we put our existence at a given point in space. We put our existence at a given point in space. Sense of location. Ashtavakraji says, for me there is no location. I am saying the existence of the self is not located in space. Therefore, the sense of location in the body, the sense of location in space, the sense of location in time, the sense of location in the form is all avidya. It is a notion. Otherwise, consciousness is not located. And one's nature is consciousness. What else? We are fundamentally conscious, that's all. Even a cow is what? Its upadhi makes it a cow, otherwise it is conscious, it's aware. A dog, its own body makes it a dog, otherwise it is conscious, it's aware. Its upadhi makes it a dog. A cow's upadhi makes it a cow. A human upadhi makes me human being. But all living beings are conscious. Their thinking may differ because upadhi. And consciousness is not located in any form, etc. That's why here it says, Kwa deshaha, Kvachava nityam, and where is the eternal? Even the word eternity is a part of teaching. Swamahimni sthitasya me, he says, when I am rooted in myself, where are all these things? They get falsified. But I am telling, the method of falsifying the anatma is that atma, my existence, is not only unlike the anatma, it is unqualified by anatma. It is the source of anatma and yet not qualified by the anatma. Understanding my nature is the way to become free from what is not my nature. Seeing my nature is the way to become free from what is not my nature. Kwadeshaha kvachava nityam swamahimni sthitasya me. He says, when I am rooted in myself, where are all these? He is giving a message, sandesh. When you are rooted in yourself, where are the problems? When you are rooted in yourself, I would like to translate it to mean when you understand yourself. It's not that you have to take a route. Take a route means clear understanding what you are. Not casually taking for granted, but correctly understanding. That is what he means by the word taking a route. When you take a route in yourself, there is no, like just as in deep sleep state, you take root in yourself. You transcend the form and be yourself. You are peaceful. Even in meditations, what do you do, Ji? You close your eyes to the whole creation and just be. That's called meditation. Just be. You give a mandate to yourself, let me be. When you come back from office tired, you just, slump into a chair. Fall into a chair. बहुत थक गया हूँ. बीबी से सेवा करने के लिए करवाने के बहाना मिल गया. बहुत थक गया हूँ. And what do? You close your eyes and just be. Let me be. बड़ा थक गया. Without closing your eyes to the creation and without just being, you cannot be peaceful. This only shows our daily behavior proves the peace is our nature. The daily behavior, yes. Human behavior is a clue to his nature. In my view, yes. Of course, the clues can become understood as clues to the nature only in the light of Shruti. It's only after the exposure to the Shruti. Otherwise, I take them for granted. I close my eyes and just be. That means to be is my nature. Even though I look upon it as a mandate, let me be. Therefore, please understand the time, the space, and the form are not the points of location for our existence. We transcend the form, that means we are not located in it. We can transcend time, that means our existence is not located in it. We transcend space in deep sleep state, that means that's not our location. What is not location? What is not our location? I look at myself as located in time and space and form. That is called avidya. Erroneous thinking about oneself. And the more of it we'll see later. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Ji.